There are moments that challenge what we think is possible, that defy the odds and our expectations. Those moments are what we at MU Health call yes moments. And they're changing the face of cardiovascular care. One breakthrough discovery, one advanced treatment, one miraculous outcome at a time. Yes makes it possible.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, May the 26th. A pleasure to have you with us today. We're going to talk about the biggest event that is coming to Central Missouri in a long, long time. And it'll be a long time before it happens again. And that is the Great American Solar Eclipse. I want to introduce you to Angela Speck. Good to have you here, Angela.
Good to be here.
MU Astronomy. And this really is the biggest event to hit Central Missouri in a long time, right?
Absolutely. In fact, it's probably the biggest event to hit the U.S. in quite a long time.
Mm-hmm. So the total solar eclipse just happens to be passing right over Columbia in Central Missouri. So we are among the most fortunate people in the country. That strip, right?
Mm-hmm. So the shadow of the moon that is cast on the Earth is only about 70 miles wide, right? And as the shadow moves across the ground, it draws this path. We call it the path of totality, which sounds like a good heavy metal band name to me, but and we are on the path of totality. So it's basically a path that goes from Oregon to South Carolina, goes right over mid-Missouri, and so there's this strip across the middle of Missouri that's 70 miles wide, and Columbia's right in the middle.
So it's 70 miles. If you're within that 70-mile wide strip, you're going to see the total eclipse.
That's right.
But if you're the further out you are from the center, the less time that you have.
That's right. So you can think of it as, the shadow of the moon is a circle, more or less. And as a circle moves along, if you are near the middle of where it's moving, you're going to be under that shadow for longer. And if you're at the edges, it's only a very small amount of shadow that you see.
But you still are going to be in total eclipse.
If you're within those 70 miles, you still see total eclipse. But as you get to the edge, so Mobley is right on the edge, and there are some parts of Mobley that only get a few seconds.
But they will still
still get a few seconds, yes. But once you get off that, this is where, a 99% partial eclipse is nowhere near the same thing. So it's one of these things where, we think of 99% as being a really good score, right? 99%, that's great. Well, it's an F. You need 100% to see the total eclipse. And as soon as you are off, even by 1%, you don't get the same experience.
So you talk about the experience. When we were talking on the phone, you said it almost gives you goosebumps with the experience. What is going to happen?
So you've got several things that are going to happen. First of all, as the moon is moving in the way of the sun, we're going to get a partial eclipse. And for the first hour, you wouldn't even notice if you weren't paying attention. But then as the moon is moving more and more, so it's blocking out more and more of the sun, we'll start to notice that it's a bit darker. And it's kind of like, on a stormy day when the sky goes that bit darker and maybe a little green, and it's creepy, right? Mm-hmm. And you kind of feel that it's odd. It's a little like that. So you've got this darkening, but instead of going green, it's going slightly darker blue, a little bit like the colors you get right after sunset. So it's a little darker blue than normal, but it's still blue.
So when will this start happening? What time is the eclipse?
So the start of the whole thing, which we call first contact, which is where the moon
First contact. Well, that sounds like aliens coming.
Exactly. So basically, you've got the moon is coming up towards the sun, and when it first impinges on the sun, that first moment, that is first contact. And for Columbia, that's 11:45 a.m.
So around 11:45 a.m.
That's when it starts the first bit of the partial phase. And then it takes nearly an hour and a half to cover it up, and you get it completely covered so that the total phase starts at 1:12 p.m.
And if you are in Columbia, it's going to last how long?
It's about 2.5 minutes, depending on exactly where you are. It's from 2 minutes 33 seconds to 2 minutes 38 seconds. For campus and thereabouts, it's basically 2:35 plus or minus 1.
Okay. Now, I told you I live about 30 miles north of Columbia. I'm still going to have that total eclipse.
You're still going to have the total eclipse, and you're probably going to get about a minute of darkness. As you get towards the edges, you get less and less time. So if you look at, say, for instance, at the eastern edge of the state where it goes over St. Louis, downtown St. Louis doesn't get darkness. In fact, the edge clips one corner of Forest Park, so the zoo doesn't see it and the Science Center doesn't see it, but one tiny corner in the southwest corner of Forest Park, that will go dark.
It'll go totally dark?
It'll go totally dark, but only for about a second.
You're kidding.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like somebody turned the lights out for a second?
Yes, and then it'll go back on again. Yeah. And then
That's
as you
amazing.
head from there towards
now
the
that's a
center
little
line.
hard for me to comprehend. So you're saying as if somebody just flicked the light off for 1 second, turned it back on again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what it's like on a bright sunny day and there's the odd cloud and you really, it's really, really bright, and then a cloud comes in front of the sun and you have a whole bunch of effects that you have, and there's a noticeable darkening just having a cloud move in front of the sun.
Right, but it's not total darkness.
No, but now we've moved something that doesn't a cloud lets light through. It just messes it up before it gets to us. But the moon is not letting any light through. And so, but you can kind of get the idea that if a cloud has this big of an effect on the temperature we feel,
What's the moon going to
then
do?
the moon is going to be huge. So it actually will drop in temperature. So, the moon has moved into place, it's gone dark, and during that 2.5 minutes, it's going to be dark like a full moon night. You'll be able to see what looks like a hole in the sky because the moon is not visible, it's just black. But around it, you can see the atmosphere of the sun, which is always there, but it's so faint that we don't normally see it. And it's going to be kind of it's like streamers flowing off the sun, and it's going to be waving around.
But you don't want to look at that with your naked eye.
You can do that. You can.
You can look at that with your naked eye?
Yeah. So all of the partial phase, as the moon is moving in the way, anytime you can see the main part of the sun, you must not look at it. And that's what we have the special glasses for. And these are designed to only let in 1/millionth of the light. So if you, any day, you could go out today and put these on and it would look like a full moon. That's how bright it would look through these. But when the moon is completely in the way and it's blocked out the whole of the main part, the corona that we can see is only about as bright as the full moon. It's completely safe. And we have, so I'm actually chairing a national task force to plan for this for the entire country.
So wait a minute, are you saying that when it is in total eclipse, you can look at it?
Yep, absolutely.
I thought you had to have the special glasses.
This is for the partial phase. So if you want to watch the moon moving in the way, you need these. But just for the time it's dark, and only while it's dark, you can look without any special equipment whatsoever. And so
I didn't know that.
And it's just so very leveling. Nobody has any excuse not to watch it.
Okay, we're out of time right now. My goodness, Angela, we could do hours and hours, but you're coming back.
I am coming back.
You're coming back, I think 3 or 4 times before the eclipse.
Absolutely.
Because this really is a very special event.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Did it give you goosebumps to think about it?
Always.
August the 21st, that's the date. And we're always wanting rain, but we're hoping that August the 21st will be a bright, sunny day so we can see that eclipse.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. Tomorrow, or actually Monday, we've got music with Kathy Barton and Dave Parra. If there's something you'd like to hear or see, just drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. And if you're going to be out and about this afternoon and this weekend, be careful.